Hi, Alma.
Hello, Seth.
And what's up, parents, teachers, therapists? Welcome to TEFOS, the Executive Function Online Summit. And before we talk about Alma, and Alma has a site called brainworksinc.com. And Alma does a lot with how we can use the human body to help with ADHD, executive function challenges. And Alma, what are we going to learn at TEFOS this year?
Oh my goodness, Seth, I'm so excited that we're here and that we get to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is neurodevelopment and how that first year of life can influence tremendously how we then show up for the rest of our life. When we had the chance, the opportunity to develop certain parts of the brain, we're going to have much more of an ability to be able to be more calm, more regulated, more able to just roll with the punches, be flexible, be able to have all these executive functions that we need, like focus, like organization, like managing time. All of those come in a huge way. There's a root to this, and that is our early brain development. So we're going to talk about that.
And let's see, this is your site here. Did that
Yes.
show up correctly?
Yes.
And did that work? Where am I? There we go. Did that work correctly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then this is our summit, executivefunctionsummit.com, and the all access pass if you want to check that out. But when people say to you, what's your job and what do you do? Well, how do you respond to a parent who asks you what your job is?
Oh my gosh. So what I get to do is one of the coolest things ever, Seth, that I get to share what I learned in my journey. And in my journey, what I learned is that we actually have so much within us that we can do to help our brain, to help our emotions, to change our brain. And if we understand that there is a sequential movements that we need to do, and we go back and do them, we activate that DNA within us, that code within us, we have then this more of an ability to just be us. And so I get to share with parents how to change their brain so they can help their kiddos change theirs.
And what's your why? Why do you do this work? Why does it matter to you?
So in the 90s, I was a young mom and I was excited to be a young mom, but there was something with my firstborn that just felt off. And I kept asking his pediatrician, there's got to be something, there's something going on. And he's like, nah, there's nothing wrong. And so I'm like, okay. So I kept asking because there's a nagging feeling inside me. And he kept assuring me that there was nothing, that this kiddo was developing fine. It was all great. So I get pregnant because everything is good, right? Even though I had a gut instinct. So now I get pregnant and everything just, all that little gut instinct was telling me was that there was something there. And there's external forces that came in, external things that activated certain things in my kiddo, that then all of those deficiencies that I had, and that I had a gut feeling, but I didn't know, doctors didn't know, obviously. He became so unaware of what safety was. If I blinked, Seth, he was on top of the roof. If I didn't have him really close to me, he was in dangerous situations. And so I was like, the whole world had just crashed on me. And, you know, I talked to doctors and they're like, their solution for my firstborn was to put him in an institution and move on, because by then I had a baby. And then I'm like, that's the solution? And so this kiddo was diagnosed with pretty much everything under the sun, you know, autism, ADHD, sensory processing disorder, and pretty much name it. And I couldn't fathom that that was it. That was their solution. And so putting them somewhere and just moving on was not a choice. That was just not going to happen. But the 90s, there was no Google, there was no internet. So then I was like, oh, so I had a baby that I had to carry everywhere and try to figure out how to keep my other kid alive. And so what happened in trying to research and search to what to do with this kiddo, my second son started not being able to have the opportunity to develop his brain. And so then he started acquiring or developing or showing symptoms that seemed similar to my firstborn. And then he got subsequently all kinds of diagnoses himself. But they were coming from two different places, but exhibiting their the same kinds of reactions, the same kinds of behaviors. So I can see how they got that. So basically the why is because I want to tell parents, I want to show parents, I want to show, anybody that will listen, that there is so much to us and our brain can change. And so as we then learn how to gentle our body, because we were all pushed way too fast, too hard, Seth. Just get it done, right? Just hurry up. And so what BrainWorks is about is allowing us to nurture and gentle our brain development, our little one within us to grow so that then we can acquire more functions. That's my why, because now I get, my kiddos, they're not kiddos anymore. They're adults. One is 31 and the other one's 28. I was like, but I absolutely live. I mean, I see them doing things. They have friends, they drive, they have, they have a life that is like nothing that I would have imagined back then, seeing them where they started. So there's possibilities, and that's why.
Right. Thank you so much, Alma. And you can check us out at executivefunctionsummit.com. You can see Alma's talk, and thank you for being here, Alma.
Thank you so much, Seth, and thank you everyone for being here.
Take care, everyone.